Did you ever have to fire people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot
And
of people.
how do you go about firing people?
I think the biggest thing about firing people is you got to realize that if you don't fire them, you're holding them back. You know, you're keeping them from doing what they could be great at and what they could do. And, you know, when I was younger in business, it was a really hard thing until I realized that. Every single person that's listening to this or will ever hear this has the ability to be great as long as they are willing to pay that price. And that price is often left out of what we see on the internet.
How important is vertical integration as an entrepreneur?
Huge. Huge. The more vertical that you can get and control your supply chain all the way down. We control supply chain all the way from ingredients to retail. I think it's a massive, massive part of our success. Now today, you have a lot of effective ways to distribute product, but when we were doing it, a lot of those things didn't exist the same way. So we did it ourselves, and it probably cost us time and probably a lot more money in the beginning. But now we're set up to do it, and it really has worked out well for us.
Did you ever at any point in time consider maybe partnering up with like a giant in the supplement space?
What's funny is, you know, here's a story for you. So back in 2012, I flew out to, at the time, was the biggest nutritional supplement distributor in the world. And I was trying to get them to distribute our products. And they told us no. They said, no, you know, we're not going to do that. And I said, okay, well, we're going to do it ourselves. And they basically said, well, that's never going to work. And it came out of not having the options that forced us to do the vertical integration the way that we have. It's like most challenges. At the time, you know, it really hurts and it's frustrating, but long term, you figure out exactly why that happened and it ends up being a good thing.
The most amount of money you made in a single year.
And then we started as just a little retail store with no money. We didn't have any investors. We didn't have any inheritance or anything like that. We started with $12,000. And our first store was the exact size of this flag. And then, you know, we thought we were going to be rich. First day we were in business, we sold $7.
First 10 years, like the biggest month you had was like what, $700?
Yeah. So the first 3 years we didn't make any money. It took us 6 years to get our second store open, and the first 10 years total, I made $58,380. So from year 3 to year 10, I made $695 a month. And then we worked other jobs, bartending, side hustles, and things like that to really just keep things going. So the first couple of years we lived in the back of our store. I love explaining to them like, hey man, this isn't just Lamborghinis and balling out. You know, this is hard, it's a grind, and just because it's hard for you doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It actually means you're doing it right. What you see on the internet and how it is in real life are oftentimes very different. I didn't think it was gonna work because, like I said, 3 years we didn't make any money. And then it became this thing where I wasn't qualified to do anything else at a point in time. So we had to. Right? I didn't have any other options. We just kept pushing, man. And you know, little by little, the vision expands and it keeps expanding, it keeps expanding, it keeps expanding. To answer your question, I knew I was gonna do something. I always felt this thing inside of me, man. I feel like I'm not meant for everything else. I'm not meant for the regular life, but I don't know what I should be doing. And that's kind of how I felt. Right out of high school, I went to college for 1 semester and I'm like, this is not for me. And we started our retail store and we just said, okay, well, let's try to do this. So this is where,
before we head out of here, I saw, are these the core values
Yes,
right
sir.
here?
Yeah.
Of all these right here, if they all had to go and you could only keep one, what's the, I know this is a tough question,
man.
the one core value that is at the root of 1st Phorm success?
Oh man, that's an impossible question.
Yeah.
I think be disciplined, but it's be disciplined about all the other core values.
The correlation between physical fitness and financial success.
The bigger correlation, you asked me about culture, is the mutual suffering, okay? When everybody trains together and everybody works together and everybody's, you know, struggling together and everybody's kind of humbled out, right? Yeah. You know, you see people who are, you know, they're dying or somebody's throwing up or somebody's not able to do the workout. That person might be a leader in the company or a boss in the company, but they're equal out here, right? And so it really helps people come together. You know, good culture isn't made in the game, it's made in those hard times. It's made in those times when everybody's struggling and everybody's working together. There's mutual suffering going on. And I think that's one of the biggest things that helps drive our culture. One thing you'll notice is like all the logos in here are always straight. The gym is, I mean, perfectly clean all the time. It looks like this all the time, not just because you guys are here. And by the way, we don't have a cleaning crew in the building at all. So this is all our culture. Everybody understands the standard and everybody understands what we're trying to do. And it's not a rule. It's not, hey, do this or you're fired. It's them understanding that when there's an opportunity to invest in your own discipline and you pass it up, you're actually hurting yourself. You think about discipline as a bank account where you make deposits and withdrawals. And you know, when you walk past a piece of trash on the ground or you see this and you don't fix it, well, that's not hurting the gym, that's not hurting 1st Phorm, that's hurting you. So when you cultivate that mentality with everybody understands like we're trying to get better, and so they do it automatically. It's really cool.
Love it.